Before we get started with this video, because I don't really have an opening skit for this one, I am thinking about starting a membership program. And I'm curious what you guys... Okay, A, would you guys subscribe to that? And B, what would you like to see on that program? Because I obviously have to come up with some exclusive stuff. So let me know in the comments below what you want to see for my if I do a membership program. I'm actually very curious what you guys have to say. Just don't say other reaction videos, please. I'm pretty sure that's illegal. Hey everyone, Brobuscus here, and welcome back to another Let's Watch of Death Battle. Today's episode, we got Martian Manhunter from DC versus the Silver Surfer from Marvel. Now, before we jump right in, of course, there should be a link in the description below. You can go watch the actual episode yourself. Go support the official release before watching some random guy on YouTube react to it, okay? Got it? Cool. Alright. So, Martian Manhunter versus the Silver Surfer. This is going to be a very interesting fight indeed. And it's one that's garnered a bit of a weird mixed reception upon its announcement, because on the one hand, hell yeah, both of these two are really cool characters and we're excited to see them on Death Battle. On the other hand, it's like, well, it's also a Marvel versus DC fight. We've been getting a lot of those recently, haven't we? Guys, look, okay, I'm just gonna say it right here, right now. Okay, personally, for me, I've never really had an issue with the amount of Marvel vs. DC fights we get. Yes, it's a lot, and yes, I do agree that they probably could do better with balancing them out, but in my opinion, at least, as long as the matchup is cool, I don't really care. And I'm just kind of tired of people writing off episodes like, oh, it's a Marvel vs. DC fight, don't care. Like, come on, guys, give it a try at least. I don't know. I'm just kind of sick and tired of the constant reactions to Marvel vs. DC fights we've been getting lately. Besides, they are nowhere near, like, everyone keeps thinking like, oh, this is going to be the next season 7. We're halfway through the season. Come on. It hasn't been that bad. But anyways, enough, I got on a side tangent, enough of that. How do I know these characters? Well, admittedly, I'm not crazy experienced with the Silver Surfer. I said I would watch, I said I've thought about watching, Rise of the Silver Surfer in the lead up to this, just so I can get some idea on him as a character, even if it's not crazy accurate to the comics. I said I would do that, and then I didn't. So, whoops. I still might, but aside from that, I don't really have a lot of crazy experience with Silver Surfer as a character. I know he was in Superhero Squad show. I did watch that quite a bit when I was a kid, but I don't remember anything about him in it. My focus was never on the Silver Surfer. It was always on, you know, Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, occasionally Captain America, because I remember he kind of took a back seat at some point. Like, he doesn't show up as often, but and yeah, I really don't have anything. If I've played or watched anything with the Silver Surfer in it, I don't remember anything about him. So, kind of unfortunate, because from what I've heard about the guy, he seems like a really cool character. I just don't have as much experience with him, especially when compared to watching pretty much the entirety of both the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited cartoons, which Martian Manhunter plays a huge role in. So, on top of, I did play Injustice, but I don't recall playing as him. So, yeah. Admittedly, I'm not really crazy experienced with either character, but I do have more experience with Martian Manhunter, you know. Also, he was in freaking Arrowverse, the CW shows. I did watch those. Plays a huge role in Supergirl, which I honestly have always really liked Supergirl as a show. I don't know. I never really got. I mean, admittedly, I haven't finished it, but I never really felt the same about people who liked it at first and then kind of fell off and considered it bad. So that goes with the other CW shows as well. I never like. The only reason I stopped watching them is because I just stopped watching them. I never really got to a point with any of those shows where I was like, yeah, this isn't good. I don't know. I guess I'm just easy to please. I mean, you're watching a video from a guy who watched Thor: Love and Thunder and liked it, so, you know, what does my opinion matter at that point? But anyway, so you see the text on screen. Who do I want to win? Who do I think is going to win? Well, who I want to win, you know, just off the basis that I have more experience with him as a character, I am obviously rooting for Martian Manhunter. I just know more about him and I like him more. I have absolutely nothing against the Silver Surfer. I'm not going to be like upset if he wins, but if I had to pick a character I would rather see win, it would be Jean. It would be Martian Manhunter. Which is kind of unfortunate because who I think is going to win, that's the Silver Surfer. I'm honestly very convinced at this point that the Silver Surfer is going to win. So the way I see it, much like with most like high tier Marvel versus DC fights, finding out a winner through strength and speed is just not a thing. I'm sure at some point we'll get a match where it is a thing, but lately, like with fights like Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna, Black Adam versus Apocalypse, Ant-Man versus Atom, Phoenix versus Raven, it's like, who wins in stats? Who knows? Because it's kind of impossible to find out. But, the main thing Martian Manhunter has going for him, for most of his fights is his telepathy, his powers over the mind, basically, and they are absolutely freaking scary. It is kind of insane what the guy can do with his telepathy powers. However, the Silver Surfer has resisted mind manipulation from the likes of like Mephisto and Moondragon, who was powered by the Mind Stone. So I don't think granted, Silver Surfer has telepathy too, and Martian Manhunter can resist it as well. So I don't think mind hacks are gonna be what decides this outcome either. Which is crazy because that's kind of the best thing Jean has going for him. He has like shape-shifting and invisibility, intangibility. He can shoot lasers. He can punch really hard. He can fly really fast. That's basically about it. But the thing is that Silver Surfer possesses all those abilities as well and more. I don't recall Jean having like counters to stuff like transmutation, which Silver Surfer has. I don't recall him resisting like soul manipulation, which I'm pretty sure the Silver Surfer has. I feel like I've heard that somewhere. Basically, it just seems like the best thing that Martian Manhunter has going for him would be resisted, whereas the best thing Silver Surfer has going for him would not. So, just based off of abilities and the fact that he can keep up in strength and speed, and the fact that he can resist Jean's telepathy, I think, while I do think it's a close fight, and I do think that Martian Manhunter would put up one hell of a fight, ultimately I think this is a pretty clear-cut victory for Norrin, for the Silver Surfer. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Now you might be wondering, why do I sound like I'm not really enthused about this one? Even though I kind of went on a side tangent earlier about how much about how we need to stop overreacting about Marvel vs. DC fights. I still think that's true, and I am excited for this fight. However, well, for one, I'm tired, so like it's, I'm just in general, I'm kind of fatigued, but also I have been made well aware of what the next episode is, and as much as I would love to be like, yeah, here comes the surprise. I'm super enthused about this fight, and I'm super enthused to find out what's next. I already know what's next, and it's a fight that I've been dreading for a while. So you can imagine that kind of siphons off a little bit of my excitement for this episode, knowing how it's going to end, knowing how this video is going to end. But I'm gonna try not to let that take over my thoughts on the episode as a whole. But I'm just gonna let you know right now, I know what the next fight is. And it's not like let me be clear. It's not like for those who don't know, it's not like someone like spoiled me on a Discord DM or something. No. They announced that it was coming on Death Battle Cast the last 2 weeks, so I watched Death Battle Cast, so it's just kind of what happens. I'm not upset. I'm not upset about the spoiler. I don't care about that, because it's not like someone decided to be a douchebag and be like, hey, so the next fight is this fight, but I'm just not super enthused because I'm not super enthused about the matchup. So, but again, let's get through this episode first. With that out of the way, I'm going to stop talking, and we're just going to jump right into it. Let's do it.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Netflix's One Piece and Shady Rays.
Oh yeah, new Rooster Teeth logo animation.
Martian Manhunter, DC's Space Ranger.
The Silver Surfer, Marvel's Sentinel of the Spaceways.
The depths of space hold secrets beyond our comprehension, but these sage superheroes have seen more of it than any of us could ever hope to.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. For as long as mankind has looked upon the night sky, the stars have beckoned the brave to search the unknown and explore its endless wonders.
Like Dr. Saul Erdell, who's kind of a doctor in the same way Dr. Pepper is a doctor. This guy's got no formal education, but that didn't stop him from messing around with
How do you have no formal education and yet still be a doctor?
To live out his boyhood dreams of exploring the cosmos.
Whatever.
So with the tech's advanced capabilities, Erdell created a machine that would bring the cosmos to him.
He pointed the machine at Mars, pushed a button, and hoped for the best. And it worked! Erdell summoned a life Martian right before his very eyes. So remember, kids, when in doubt, just push buttons. Never fails.
The mysterious and powerful alien known as
listen to
John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, immediately started using his incredible powers in front of the Doctor, like mind reading and shape-shifting.
Which was just the tip of Erdell's discoveries. Turns out, Martians have complete control over their bodies and can transform into practically anything, like a freaking
Batman
dragon,
just
an exact duplicate
backs
of Wonder
off.
Woman down to her central nervous system, or even a totally generic green monster that loves choco cookies.
They can also shoot lasers from their eyes, fire psionic blasts, turn invisible, and phase through anything. Even Green Lantern constructs and force fields that Superman couldn't get through.
On top of all that, they've got a crazy healing factor. John has
It's true.
recuperated
I did forget about
every
that.
single
Yeah,
one.
they do
Tiny
have
pieces or even a puddle of
Crazy
goo.
regeneration.
This display of awe-inspiring power overwhelmed Dr. Erdell's poor human heart and caused him to die in the Martian's arms.
Damn. Well, at least he accomplished his goal before he bit the red dust, right? Anyway, John used his shape-shifting abilities to hide amongst his new world by assuming the identity of a recently deceased detective named John Jones. God, what a crazy coincidence.
Regular human male.
Clever man.
Detective John Jones lived a double life on Earth for many years, solving cases and helping as many people as he could from the shadows. But eventually, he stepped out, revealing himself to the world, and helped found the Justice League of America.
And John definitely
Good for him.
holds his own in the supergroup. He once pulled the Earth alongside Wonder Woman and Superman, who has stated that of all the beings in the known
It's
universe,
true.
he would be afraid to fight John.
And he should be afraid. Superman wouldn't be the first Kryptonian John has gone toe-to-toe with. He's manhandled Ultraman, who's basically evil Superman from another universe, and Superboy Prime, who can shatter reality with his punches, and is also evil Superman from another universe.
He took a blast from
Yeah.
Asmodel, the king angel from a literal
I don't know if I-
army of heaven. He's held his
I guess
own
I'm not
against
crazy familiar with,
Darkseid, the manifestation
Superboy
of
Prime, but
tyranny in
I-
the DC universe. And he's
I always
fast
consider
enough to
Superboy
catch
Prime
up
more
to
crazy
Supergirl
Superman than
and
evil Superman, but,
who we know flies so fast he can burst the bonds of infinity. So
Mm-hmm.
basically, he's just as strong and just as fast as a bunch of crazy gods and demons.
While Jean's strength and speed are obviously very impressive, it's also no secret that his greatest asset is his mind. He's one of the most powerful telepaths in all of the DC universe.
He reads minds, duh, but he can also shut them down altogether. And he once made
True.
Mr. Plexiglass, Mr. Mixed Pickles. Fuck your name, that's whatever. Anyway, he got him
Mr.
to subconsciously
Mixes
say his
Piddlick.
own name backwards, which God only knows because I can't say it forwards, which cancels out his powers.
His psychic defenses were strong enough to protect the Justice League against a worldwide telepathic attack, and his ability to sense people's feelings is so strong, he can feel every sentient being in the entire galaxy.
And he once
Damn.
outthought Perpetua from the Omniverse. Who's that, you ask? Oh, just a freaking creator of the entire multiverse. She's basically the god of everything.
Jean needed to connect
Nice.
his consciousness with everyone on Earth before Perpetua could catch up. He pulled this off by using his mental abilities within the span of Planck time, literally the smallest possible measurement of time. In the time it takes you to count to 1, Jean could count to 1 and fly across the universe and back over 200 sextillion times.
He outthought God. He's a faster thinker than God. And it didn't end there. John took a punch from her and walked away with just a bloody nose. And when she disintegrated him into basically nothing, he regenerated back from a hit from God.
Batman has said that in order to kill Jean for good, you would have to literally destroy every single atom in his body one by one.
God damn! If I didn't love alliteration so much, I'd say we change this guy's name to Martian God Hunter or something. He's basically invincible, right?
Not quite. Jean is not without weakness. He has a very real vulnerability to fire. At times, it has completely overwhelmed him to the point where he loses control of his body.
And not just
I
literal
mean-
fire either. John was once tricked into just thinking he was surrounded by fire, and that was enough for him.
Even still, Jean has been able to overcome this weakness. He's fought enemies
Yeah.
with fire abilities and even taken hits from fire attacks, which leads me to believe the weakness, while potent and still able to cause real physical harm, is mainly psychosomatic.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
I heard what you said. Weakness to fire is just in your head. I'll be a living god! Another win in the mind column for sure. And to think
Okay.
there's a whole planet of these guys out there.
Unfortunately, that's no longer the case. Before Dr.
Yeah.
Erdell's strange experiment, Jean's own brother used the Martians' telepathic connection to each other against them, and the entire planet was plagued with Ronmir's curse.
As long as they stayed telepathically connected, every Martian was vulnerable to a mental fire that would overwhelm them and burn them from the inside out.
Which sadly worked very well, because the fear of fire is something Jean shares with his fellow Martians. Centuries earlier, the Guardians of the Universe, a group of immortal aliens who run the Green Lantern Corps, feared that
Indeed.
the Martian race could become too strong. So they programmed the Martians with that genetic weakness to fire.
John was able to survive
So,
the fire
yeah, it is
by
psychological.
cutting off his mental connection to his people, including his family. Unfortunately, his wife, Myria, and their daughter couldn't live with the isolation, and he had no choice but to watch them give in and burn alive. Damn.
Racked
Yeah.
with grief and survivor's guilt, Jean was left to wander his homeworld all alone. His only solace being shape-shifting into his lost loved ones to
Oh,
convince
damn.
himself they were still alive.
Oh my God. Jesus, John. That is so sad.
That pain has
Yeah.
undoubtedly shaped who Jean is. In fact, the trauma he held onto so tightly formed a literal spiritual connection with those lost souls. A telepathic connection so strong, it kept them from finding peace in an afterlife. Let me
man.
say that again. His grief and telepathy were so strong, he prevented an entire race of people from moving on to the afterlife.
It wasn't until
That-
years later that John could return to Mars and release those souls by finally letting go. And not to forget them, but to embrace his new life and his new home. A place he would defend time and time again to make sure the Earth never suffers a fate similar to Mars.
To experience all of that, to truly know what it feels like to be alone in the vast universe, but continue to use your wisdom and power to help those in need, is what makes the Martian Manhunter such a noble hero.
On a planet packed with other incredible heroes, John really has set himself apart. He's risen through the ashes and emerged the heart and soul of the Justice League.
Yeah.
This episode
Crazy.
of Death Battle is sponsored by One Piece on Netflix.
Made by fans for fans, this live-action adaptation of the beloved manga is designed to introduce new audiences to the zany pirate epic. And where else would it start but
I
the East
never
Blue,
in my
a
life
world
thought that they'd
populated
get
by
sponsored by a
pirates with
Netflix show.
supernatural powers gifted by
Let alone a
mysterious
live-action
developers,
adaptation.
Where telephones are snails.
And a treasure hidden by the late Goldie Roger kicks off an era of epic adventure.
This action-packed series follows the Straw Hat Pirates, a crew of true Nakama determined to find the legendary One Piece and live free on the high seas.
All the while being chased by the honorable Marines, protecting the waterways from those dastardly pirates.
In an ocean of grim and gritty adaptations, One Piece is an adventurous, warm-hearted, binge-worthy island.
Series mangaka Eiichiro Oda was involved in every step of the process, which has never been done before in any other
Oh, good.
live-action manga adaptation.
Pirates life for me! Marines stink!
Watch One Piece August 31st, only on Netflix.
Maybe I will. I don't know. Never was really into One Piece, but
Zen-La, a virtual
alright, Silver Surfer.
free from any and all crime, poverty, and disease.
And home to Norrin Radd, which I've gotta say is the sickest, most radical name I have ever heard in my entire life. He was a brainy kid who was raised to live
I mean,
a life
hey,
of reason
it's a
and
rad
enjoy
name for a
one of
surfer.
gnarly adventure.
That is, until the technologically advanced society came under threat from the Devourer of Worlds.
Galactus.
Galactus.
So Norrin struck up a deal with the World Muncher. In exchange for sparing his planet, Mr. Radd offered to leave his home behind, become Galactus's herald, and seek out new planets for him to scarf down.
And once Galactus agreed to the deal, he imbued his new herald with the power cosmic, transforming him into the Silver Surfer.
An equally tubular name. 2 for 2. Wow, you rarely see it.
The power cosmic grants the Surfer near unlimited energy, as well as matter manipulation, phasing, super strength, speed, and invulnerability, just to name a few.
The Surfers basically got all of Galactus' space magic, just on a smaller scale. And Galactus uses that power to fight guys like the In-Betweener, an abstract being from the overspace.
The Surfer used the power cosmic to serve Galactus diligently for nearly 100 years, during which he ensured that the planets consumed were devoid of sentient life.
That is, until the Surfer accidentally offered up a planet with life, which drove him crazy with guilt. So Galactus tried his best to suppress the Surfer's emotions, erase the painful memories, and make it easier for him to find planets with tasty, delicious life, guilt-free. How nice of him.
And
Yeah.
it worked for a while until the Surfer reached Earth. Galactus's mighty mind manipulation wasn't enough to bury the Surfer's true nature for good. With the help of Alicia Masters and the Fantastic Four, the Surfer turned against his overlord and saved the Earth from being eaten.
But even after all that, Galactus just let the Surfer keep his powers. At any point, he could have just taken them back.
Being the source
He-
of the Surfer's powers, yes,
he did go
could.
back to Zen-La,
But Galactus
though.
has continued to let the Surfer have the power cosmic out of respect for his first herald.
Damn. See, that's the kind of respect I'm asking from you. Anyway, ever since those mental gymnastics with Galactus, the Surfer made sure nothing like that would ever happen again.
And he's been successful, like when Psycho Man failed to trick the Surfer with his illusions, or when he was briefly trapped in the Supreme Intelligence's mind when it was using the Mind Stone.
With some of those mental threats behind him, he could finally take to the spaceways, kick ass, and monologue about the meaning of life in the universe.
All of which he's quite good at, especially that last one. It's thanks to the abilities afforded to him through all that cosmic energy.
It's seriously crazy. He can rearrange the molecules of anything he wants into anything
freaking power cosmic.
He can force you to just feel pain in general, and he can even control elements, not just earth, wind, and fire, but anything in a boogie wonderland like gravity and the weather.
He's got enough power and energy inside
Holy
him
crap.
that he once created an infant star to serve as a new light source in a universe devoid of light.
So just when he needed it, he was able to pop out a baby son? That's convenient.
That's the power cosmic.
But we can't forget about the sick board he shreds the stars with. This thing's basically an extension of himself. He can transform it into a sweet sword or into pure cosmic energy. And if it breaks, he can just form a new one.
On his board, the Surfer has traveled at incalculable speeds on multiple occasions. He can fly faster than Thor, and even once flew so fast he reached the future.
Even without his board, he once broke free from energy shackles that would zap away his power within the next nanosecond. Gnarly, brah. He once surfed a wave of universal destruction. He had to surf out of all of existence as it was being torn apart. Now, I've seen some choice waves in my day, but if you ask me, that's one.
Can we please
better
stop with
watch
this
on
accent?
the beach with a brew.
You're, hitting it real hard with all this surfing lingo. He's honestly not that kind of guy at all.
Righteously disagree with you, dude. You are carving up my brainwaves into an A-frame swell that I just can't bail. I'm waxed, man, waxed.
The Silver Surfer
Okay.
is a
Hey, there's the NES game.
who's always weighing his choices through every angle of morality. Like when he set out to destroy the new host of the Star Brand, an energy source that grants his wielders virtually infinite power, capable of wiping out all life on Earth.
The Star Brand seems to choose a new unknowing host at random. Could be a good guy, could be the most evil person to ever exist. But despite that threat, the Surfer spared the new Star Brand once he found out she was carrying a child.
He decided to bear the weight of any potential consequences on his own shoulders, instead of squashing any and all hope that the child would use that power for good.
I get it. He's a righteous dude on a surfboard.
Exactly. And in the Surfer's case, a keen sense of morality also comes with a keen sense of his surroundings in general. He can see enemies even when they're invisible, and can sense incoming threats, to the point where he can sense someone approaching even before they've left their own home.
He can also absorb energy his opponents throw at him. Anything from psionic energy to a freaking star. The Surfer can even do it when he's on death's door. Hey, Wiz, what do you think the doormat on death's door says? Probably like, knock 'em dead, right?
What are you talking? Now, it does take a lot to get the
Anyways.
Surfer to death's door. He's taken a blast
Jean
from the
Grey.
Infinity Stones, survived being smashed into pieces, crashed into the Big Bang, and played catch with the star.
He caught it
Nice.
and threw it right back at that punk Deadpool. I hope you
He
like
played
a
catch with
ball
a
of gas in
star
your face, you tool.
with
Reed
Deadpool.
Richards, the smartest man alive,
Okay.
has said that the Surfer is probably the most powerful being in all the galaxy.
And even after years spent drifting through the galaxy, he's still built strong bonds, like with the Fantastic Four, the Defenders, and with people like Dawn Greenwood.
But somehow, he always ends up alone in space, searching for answers, searching for beings that need his help, searching for something that could replace the home that he lost all those years ago.
Only to be weighed down by the guilt of his servitude and the pain of his sacrifice, which was ultimately done in vain. Cause it doesn't seem to matter what the Surfer does. Zenla is destined for destruction. At this point, his home world has been destroyed 4 times over.
Despite it all, this tragic hero still manages to take everything in stride as he surfs the stars and fights tirelessly to preserve every being's right to live. All right, the combatants are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's
Time for a death battle. And pause. Alright, so, I didn't really reminisce on what I heard that much because honestly, all it really did was just confirm what I had suspected. I did forget about, Jean's regeneration. So, I will concede to that. But it doesn't disprove anything else that I've said, because, like I said, I'm pretty sure... Like I said, Silver Surfer has all the abilities that Martian Manhunter has, if not more. I don't think I heard anything about regeneration, but I probably talked over it. Yeah, I still think the Silver Surfer is going to win. I just think... I think he's got more to throw at Jean than Jean can throw at Norrin. At least nothing that... At least that they can't resist. I just don't know what Jean has up his sleeve that Norrin can't just say, nah, to. Aside from just, ow, you've punched me in the face. That freaking hurt. It just feels kind of like when, like, Jean's best thing he's got going for him in this fight is punch him really hard. Which he can do, and it could work, but the Silver Surfer can do that too. And just has way more up his sleeve. So, yeah, I'm still going for Norrin, still going for the Silver Surfer. We shall see what happens. I'm going to be very surprised if Martian Manhunter ends up winning this. Okay, this opening is amazing.
Journeys. I have never seen anything quite like this.
I assumed your journeys would have made you rather familiar with places like this, Norrin Radd. Or should I say, Silver Surfer. Now, tell me why you have summoned
Dude, I love... They got Cameron Nicod for Jean. It's amazing. He sounds so good.
What are you hiding?
We'll see what happens.
Tell me your secrets.
I must end this.
And preview's over. I like this. that was a good camera angle. Phasing. No.
There's no use in hiding.
Freaking pose.
I can feel your presence.
That's okay, he can make a new one, and that is a dragon. Oh, okay. You know, just cut a moon in half. And half in like 3 pieces, but okay. Throw him into the sun.
Nothing can best Martian might.
Yeah.
Your will is admirable, but will alone is not enough. Feel the pain.
Okay.
You and I possess the same knowledge.
That only one of us can survive, and we know not why.
I hope you can live with the uncertainty.
Victory comes with no certain satisfaction. I may never know why we were made to fight. If violence is ever truly justified, but perhaps there is something worthy in the battle.
Myria.
Something
Oh,
beyond
man.
my understanding.
Alright, that was cool.
KO! Wiz, what the hell are we doing? Why are we we forcing such beautiful souls to fight to the death?
Both the Silver Surfer and
He
the
had
Martian
no-
were two extraordinarily powerful beings,
No answer to that.
each with very wide power sets.
So they both had counters for almost everything they could throw at each other. They could both phase through objects, rearrange molecules, and regenerate their own bodies.
But arguably the biggest thing on the Martian Manhunter's side was his formidable telepathy. The Surfer has had his memories erased and his emotions manipulated by Galactus. So it would stand to reason that Jean could pose
True.
a mental threat to the Surfer.
But the Surfer has resisted mental attacks many times. When Psycho Man played on the Surfer's guilt and pretended to be his lost love, the Surfer saw right through it, and he escaped the Supreme Intelligence's mind when it was using the frickin' Mind Stone.
These two could have gone toe-to-toe around the universe for a long time. But when it came down to it, the question was, who had the power to put the other down for good?
They both have some serious healing factors and have come back from basically nothing. But if
True.
ending Martian Manhunter meant destroying his every atom one by one, the Surfer has the means to make that happen thanks to the seemingly endless well of energy that is the power cosmic.
It's truly an overwhelming source of unlimited power. And
Yeah.
outside of Galactus stripping the power away from him, the Surfer is never without it.
It's like a battery. Even if Jean could drain all of the cosmic energy, the Surfer can just recharge it. And he's used that power to destroy planets, defeat Galactus-level threats, and can basically accomplish anything with it.
While both of these philosophic heroes tend to hold back out of a respect for life, there's obviously no holding back here, and the depth of Silver Surfer's abilities gave him the win.
This Martian was harsh in his mellow, so the Surfer had to wave goodbye. Bodacious Cowabunga Hang Ten Ninja Turtles!
The winner is the Silver Surfer. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned, we have a new Death Battle releasing every 2 weeks this year. And click the join button to get new perks and extra content. Planet level members
And
even see
3,
Death Battles before
2,
anyone else,
1.
so don't miss out.
It's time. Bill Cipher versus Discord. Thought I could run away from it. No, I'm kidding. No, I didn't think that at all. It was only a matter of time, but here it is. The winner of the 2D poll. I really want to be excited. I really do. I just, it has every potential to be a really good fight. Well, for one, I don't care about the characters. I haven't seen Gravity Falls. I will amend that. But at the moment, I haven't seen Gravity Falls. Never seen My Little Pony. Don't really have any intention on seeing My Little Pony. And just in general, I'm not really crazy on the matchup, and well, I could go into more detail, but A, I'm probably going to do it on the podcast, and B, some of it is stuff that should remain private. I'll just say that. It's nothing to do with me. I'm fine. I don't care about this matchup, and I'm not crazy excited for it, but the private stuff has pretty much nothing to do with me. So, you don't need to worry about that. But, I just wish certain parts of what makes there's a lot that makes a death battle worthwhile. The episodes themselves are obviously part of it, but the other part of it is just the lead up to it. The discussions, the question of who would win is one thing, but the other part is just people being really excited about the characters at play here. If you're a huge fan of Gravity Falls, or if you're a huge fan of My Little Pony, go off on that. Talk about why. Talk about why you're excited for this fight. But a lot of the discussion I've seen was just trying to figure out who wins, and people being a little too passionate about it is all I'm really gonna say. So got something in my eye now. Damn it. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say on Bill versus Discord. I will watch it. It will happen. It is a thing. It exists. I acknowledge that it exists. I don't really have a preference on who wins, nor do I really have an idea on who wins. Because everyone just says different things. Everyone says, like, I've seen plenty of people say that Bill wins. I've seen plenty of people say that Discord wins, and I just have yet to be convinced one way or the other. But then again, I guess that's what happens when I just distance myself from a lot of the discussion, I guess. But either way, enough about that. That was a cool fight. It's definitely a lot more low key than I would have expected, but I think that's to its benefit. I appreciate the noir opening and endings; those were fun. Again, the voice acting was top notch. I mentioned Cameron Nicot already, but Silver Surfer's voice actor, who Paul Guyette, I think his name was. He was really good too. I really liked it. And just it was basically just a battle of wits by the end. Still don't know why Silver Surfer summoned Martian Manhunter there. I was kind of hoping that some of the questions from the beginning would be answered. Like, why did Silver Surfer bring Martian Manhunter to the weird cube office? And then as soon as he gets asked that, he just buzzes off. I don't know. I don't get that. I was kind of hoping we'd get an answer to that. And maybe we did and I missed it, but yeah. I don't know. I thought the dragon was really cool. There's not really a lot that goes on here, but again, it is more low key. But I think that's well, it's obviously not going to be like one of my favorite fights ever, but it's still like I still like it. Is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. I always have trouble trying to formulate my opinions on a fight upon first watch. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like a crazy hype, like adrenaline rush episode. It wasn't like incredibly fast paced. I guess it probably could have been, but it wasn't. I do like the ending a lot. It kind of became a philosophical question by the end. And Jean left it up to Norrin to find out the answer to that. But, yeah. Still, good fight. I mean, it's not gonna, like, hit any highs of the rest of the season, but I still like it. So, yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and wrap it up here. So, yeah, good fight, and I will just hope that things work out for the next one. But yeah, I do want to say before I go, I got quite a bit of comments on my Gogeta versus Vegito reaction when I saw that Bill versus Discord won the 2D poll. Basically saying that you know, it was a lot of their like most wanted fight. It was the most wanted fight of quite a few people, and some of those people took it upon themselves to comment on my reaction to its announcement to say like it kind of sucks that you're not as excited for it. And I do want to apologize if I make it sound like I'm overly negative. And if you're excited for this fight, I am really happy to hear that. Don't let my lack of excitement for it take away from your excitement. If you're excited for this fight, be excited for this fight. You know, give it the views, give it the likes, give it everything. Because I'm sure that the episode will be made for you, but it is not made for me. So it really just is preference. You know, I don't want to make it sound like I don't like this fight, so you shouldn't like this fight. Because that's not true. That's not true at all. And if it makes it sound, if I make it sound like I'm like in like, I don't know how to describe it. I just want to say I for those who are excited for this fight and are kind of let down by my reaction to it happening, I'm sorry, but what can you do? You know, it's as long as you're not a dick about it, you can like or dislike whatever, really. Like, just respect other people's opinions on it and we'll all be good. Yeah. With that out of the way, I think I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this up. So, hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. I hope you're more excited for the next fight than I am. And I will talk to you all in the next video. Bye, everybody.